but all the major components for solar have been decreasing in cost. Wind has also been decreasing the cost of wind power for the capital, mostly because of the wind turbine generator, the WTG, which costs have come down 30 to 40% between 2009 and 2015. Let's look at prices for solar and wind a little bit more carefully, because this is going to drive the competitive balance between the conventional fuels and the renewables. I spoke a couple months ago at a conference in Shanghai, the PV Photovoltaic Solar Conference. And there were companies there, analysts presented from Bloomberg, from IHS Markit, from Asia Clean Capital and elsewhere. And this is some of the data that they showed. You see the trend lines going down. These are trend lines for solar. And for most of this is the trend lines for solar. You can see this dropping between 2010 and 2016 substantially. This reflects a drop not only in the price of the capital equipment, but also in the price of the operating and maintenance and installation services. So there's kind of across the board, there's sort of declines in the prices. That comes with increased economies of scale. And one of the things that's happening is China and Asia, particularly China, in this mix has a lock on the economies of scale because their internal market is so huge and they're exploiting it. So over a third of the growth in the solar industry last year came from China-produced supplies. It's massive. So it does show that over 80% of the renewable capacity currently in Canada is from hydropower. There's 78 gigawatts of installed capacity compared to about 10 gigawatts of installed capacity for wind. And then almost, less than a gigawatt, let's say, of solar that's growing rapidly, but it's very small. When are the costs going to converge? When are the costs of renewable power going to actually come in lower than conventional fuels? Or are they? So right now, if you look at the graph on the right, it shows that natural gas combined cycle power still has a lower levelized cost of energy than any of the above. Very significant finding. So we recently studied this in depth for the government of Mexico.